Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Bellevue Highlights. Tonight what we're going to go over is we're going to be pulling the rear 300-foot line. Both you'll find Minuteman style on 481 and the squad. Things we're going to go over tonight, we're going to go over the deployment and repacking, and then all together we're going to put it together so you can see it in a scenario. So stay tuned and thanks for tuning in.
Hi everybody, this is Kyle. Today we're talking about the 300 foot off the back of our engine. This is stacked as a Minuteman. And this line is great for all sorts of reasons. For our driveways in Kingsville, we can make long stretches with this. Going outside of our jurisdiction, we have apartment buildings that we can get 300 foot, basically anywhere inside of those. Also, if you're told to pull a backup line, say one of our cross lanes is already pulled, that's 200 foot, and for a backup line, it needs to be to equal or greater length. So this 300 foot is perfect for that. But something to keep in mind is when you're pulling up to a house fire, or even if it's not on fire, but you're training, when you pull this line, or when you pull any line, make sure you listen to your officer that's riding that front seat, and they're always going to lead you in the right direction on what line to pull.
Hey everybody, this is Jared. We're going to go over the 300 Minuteman. We're going to go step by step on how to break this down. First section is for the nozzle position. You're going to grab this section right here, throw it on your shoulder, and take a couple steps forward. Then the backup person is going to come and grab this load and throw it on their shoulder and take a couple steps. And then the third person will come and grab this dump load. And then in the next video, we're going to show you how step by step how to pull it.
Racking the 300 foot line is first we're going to start with the dump section. So the dump section is 100 foot and it's all just flat load. The way we're going to load it is we're just going to alternate back and forth each side. And right when we get to the 50 foot section, we're going to put a set of loops in. To start the second section of this load, we're going to load another 100 foot, and this load is going to be Minuteman. And it's going to be single stacked on this side. To start, we're going to take the male coupling and let that hang right about here at the tail of the engine. Remember, male to the tail. And we're just going to simply load this in a single step.
Up here, you guys didn't see down there, but this is the last few feet of our flat load, or our dead load. And when you're up here, we usually just hang this over the side a few feet. And once you're done with your first Minuteman stack, you bring this right back over itself, over your Minuteman stack, and you bring your female end to your male end, and you connect them just as normal. Make sure you match up the same colors with the same lines, so it's nice and neat. And then when those are stacked, you just make sure this is tight, and you bring it right down on top of itself.
So this is going to be the final 100 foot of our 300 foot line. This is again another Minuteman section, and it's going to be positioned right here to the left. We're going to start this by first putting the nozzle right there, and we're going to stack all the hose right on top of the nozzle. So the very final step in this load is we're going to take the male section from our first Minuteman load and just bring it right over top. And that's going to connect the two Minuteman sections together.
This is where you connect the two hoses together, male to female, at the top.
All right, everybody, now we're at the point where we're going to actually go over deploying the 300 line, okay? And some of the things to keep in mind is, like Kyle went over earlier, is we always want to communicate with the officer, okay? The officer, they're going to be sizing up the structure, they're determining how much water we need based on the amount of fire we have, okay? If we do opt to pull the 300, okay, because some of our stretches up in Kingsville are quite lengthy, what we're going to do is we're going to coordinate it, okay? And this is going to require everybody on board, okay? And communication is going to be the biggest step in deploying a line of this length, okay? So what we see here is Jack's going to be in the nozzle position, Kyle right here is going to be back up, and Javante's going to actually be clearing the bed section out with his arm, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you this, and then we're going to tie it all together in a scenario so you can see it actually play out, okay, in a real life scenario. So Jack, what we're going to do is we're going to have you pull the 300, so go ahead and put the shoulder section onto your shoulder. So nozzle section's going onto his shoulder right now. Now it's very important that once Jack comes down, he doesn't start walking, okay? He waits until Kyle is able to shoulder the shoulder section onto his shoulder as well, and then he steps down. All right, so they're gonna hold up right there as Javante clears the bed section of the engine. And then, you're good, go ahead. All right, so it's important that you get your feet when you have all of this hose, okay? Again, this is 300 feet of hose. So Jack's going to continue to walk, as well as Kyle. Now it's important for Javante, once he runs out of hose, to communicate to then Kyle that the line has become very taut, okay? And now the section's going to be paying off of Kyle's shoulder. Javante's going to be keeping in mind the pinch points, okay?
You're about to reach the pinch point.
All right, so that's important because Javante might want to give an additional 10 feet or an extra length just to kind of get around a quarter to create some slack, okay? So when the driver goes to charge it, it doesn't pinch.
Okay,
all right.
I'm out of home.
Javante, spot on communication. He communicates to Kyle that he's out of hose, okay? This is now in turn going to be paying off of Kyle's shoulder. Come on up, Brand. Alright, so you saw what Kyle did right there. He actually threw an extra section of hose off of his shoulder to compensate for going around a squad. We see the squad here, but it may be a vehicle, it may be a tree, it may be a mailbox, okay? He's going to do the same thing for going around the end, just like that. Good job, Kyle. All right, so Kyle communicated to Jack that he's out. So this means the remainder section of hose is now on Jack's shoulder, okay? Kyle is finding a pinch point right here. All right, going around, Bren. And Kyle, as the backup position, he's going to be ensuring that making sure that there's no kinks in the hose and nothing's going to get caught up when the driver goes to charge the hand line. All right, so Jack's going to come back and he's going to go ahead and grab the coupling. And now he's ready to deploy the line and call for order.
Hey y'all, it's Brownie. Just a couple tips and tricks on the 300 or a long line. When you're that backup, or if you have an extra, making sure you deploy all the hose out of the bed and clear the bed. So when you look up to grab that dump section, you're grabbing it, pulling it, coming out. If it's not clear, grabbing it and yanking it out. Because if you're deploying any line, specifically a long line, you want to make sure that you have every inch of hose off and that you deploy all of it and make sure that when you're running behind your nozzleman or the backup that there's no kinks, specifically looking out for pinch points, tires, anything that could make your line ineffective and out of service, to be honest. So just a couple tips and tricks.
All right, everybody, we got heavy fire showing on the Bravo side. I want you to pull the 300, okay?
That's it.
All right, stretch it to the Bravo side, Bravo side.
Lines taut. Kyle, basement's clear, make entry. Jack, give me a chair check.
Man from Warren, my backup. Entering downtown Greece.
Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Bellevue Highlights 2023. Tonight what we want to accomplish was simply going over the rear inch and 3/4 300-foot attack line that you would find on engine 481 and squad 483 in the proper deployment and repacking, and also seeing this in a real life scenario played out as well. We thank all our viewers of our Firehouse at home for watching these videos. It's very important for us to remain proficient in pulling these attack lines, and also equipment familiarity with the equipment as well. All right, so stay tuned for more videos, and we thank you all for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to our video and watching the Bellevue Highlights.